1, 2, 3.
Welcome to ATB-TV, here with Brian Johnson at the Ararat races on Friday. We're a day late this week, Brian, but we thought we might do it from the racetrack for a change when there's actually runners racing around.
Yeah, we're a little bit different to Ararat last week. We had a couple of horses here today go around, and Evans was a good run the last race, Darren, I thought.
Yeah, we'll get onto that shortly. Let's go back through our runners for the last week. We have to go back to Saturday night and we'll start off with Moonee Valley. And first up we had picturesque, who was disappointing.
Yeah, on face value was disappointing, but the horse choked down through the race, and Ben Malcolm said after the race that it just forget the horse went around because it swallowed its tongue halfway around and tried to run off the track and lost its breath and just never really won the race at all. So if you can put it aside for this one, and I think it'll be winning races sometime soon.
And I caught up with Matthew Williams just to see what he had to say about Picturesque. Matt, things didn't go right.
No, pretty much everything went wrong. It was a race we were heading down there. Was going to be our sort of real, I guess, guide race as to where we were heading with him for the rest of the spring and what races we were going to tackle. And pretty much he got his tongue back and choked down, and basically become erratic for Ben to ride in the race. He just wanted to over race and half run off the track, and things that were really strange for him to do because he is a very easy-going sort of horse to ride and got a great little mouth on him normally. So we'll have to make some gear changes there for his next run.
And his next run, what do you got in mind?
We're going to bring him right back in class, and there's a 0 to 64 rated race at Stall Monday week on the 30th, and it's over 1,300, so it's back a little bit in trip, but probably just where he's at the moment. That wouldn't be the end of the world, and we'll take the blinkers off, put a tongue tie on and a ring bit, and just get his manners back right on race day, and then hopefully we can build back up and maybe sort of look at maybe something like the Sandown Guineas at the end of the carnival.
We then went on to with Platelet running at Moonee Valley. She was first up at Moonee Valley in the McEwen Stakes, and she ran a nice fourth, Brian.
Yeah, very good run, but how impressive was the winner on the day? Just scooted around the valley and really gave nothing else a chance. But Platelet hasn't won first up before, and it's just probably a typical good first up run for her. She hit the line hard as usual, and I think she heads to probably the Gilgai now and at Flemington, and down the straight she'll be very hard to hold out.
Yeah, look, she'll only have the 4 or 5 runs this prep, and as we all know, she's not a 1,000-metre horse. She's probably more a 1,200-metre horse, and third and fourth up will be her go, and she's going towards the Manikato and the Patnack. Gilgai will be another lean up for her, but she looks like she's on track. We then had our grey horse, ATB-TV, running at Chester on Saturday night, and not only did he win, Brian, but he won by 8 lengths.
I was only going to say something else, but it's quite sort of funny. Like Johnny Richards last week, he was shadowed when Collingwood got beat. Unlike myself, he just took it on the chin. But then a week later, ATB-TV's won, and he's over the football now. And
which chin did you take it on?
all of them. But yeah,
I got him. He's lost it. Yes, ATB-TV. It was a good win, wasn't it?
Yeah, fantastic. And I believe Marco said after the race, "Wow, that was amazing."
Yeah, that was the text I got from Marco at about 12:15 a.m. was wow, as the horse was only second up over 2,500 metres, and he thought only around 90% fit. So that horse heads off to France at Longchamp on Arc Day now in a 4,000-metre run, third up, and then fourth up he'll run in the Royal Oak at Longchamp as well. So they'll both be on wet tracks. So that's a big turnaround from running down the track at Flemington in the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, he got his preferred wet tracks over there too. I think 2 starts to Marco. He's run third and won a race. He's done a great job with the horse.
Well then, Refill, we took him up to Bendigo, and he was first up this preparation, ran a nice second, no match for the winner, Darley horse, was, I think, stakes place, Brian, but Refill looks like he's in for a good preparation.
Yeah, he followed up his good trial win at Burren Beat there a couple of weeks ago and did everything right, but as you say, the winner was just too strong on the day, and he was never going to win the race, but he got to the line pretty strong.
Craig Williams rode him, and he gave him a good report after the race, saying that, you know, once he gets out to 12 and 1,400, he's going to be quite a good horse.
Well, it's good to hear. I know one of the owners, and he's very excited about the horse getting back to the races, so he's pretty happy with the run.
We didn't go to Cranbourne on Thursday. Floral what's her name? Stylish Lily, but she's had a floral emblem. She was scratched due to a heavy 10. So we are here today at Ararat, and we had Chloe Anna first up in the race 1. Testarossa filly trained by Darren Weir. No joy there. Drew wide, caught wide, and just couldn't finish off.
Yeah, I don't think the heavy track suited her either as well, but you spoke to Dean after the race. What do you have to say?
Disappointing, but I don't think he'd know anyway, Dean Yendall. But look, at the bottom line was she was first up over 1200. She caught wide, drew wide, big green. I've watched the trial. She's much better than that. So put it down to experience, and we won't give up on her yet. And we've just watched Stevens contest the showcase race, and she hadn't run for a month, but ran a nice second there to probably a smart enough horse.
Yeah, very good effort, and she battled out well in the run to the line. The winner had to sort of go around her in the straight, and even sort of probably could have stopped in the run, but it just kept going and probably short of a run.
We have a day off tomorrow, Saturday, no runners for ATB, so we'll be back in the office pumping out some emails. And then on Sunday, it's Swan Hill. We've got 2 runners up there. We'll start with race 1, number 1, Glockenspiel. The gelding by Schnitzel, who is a very smart 2-year-old. Been off the scene, had a couple of allergy problems, nothing serious, but has trialled up pretty good, and we're looking forward to see him go around first up on Sunday.
Yeah, very smart galloper, and very impressive in the trial at Burrenbeat, I think just over 2 weeks ago. And if you look back through his form, he's got a third behind Prince Ararat, who was fancied in the Golden Rose last week. So the form line through that horse is pretty good. You'd expect this horse to be going very well.
And our other runner, General Moore, he's first up as well at Swan Hill. I think he's drawn wide, but his trial on Tuesday at Ballarat was pretty good.
Yeah, Darren was pretty happy with the horse, and here's another one. If he can get things to suit in the run, he's going to be really hard to hold out the race end. But he's had a place in town last season, and he's good enough to beat those on his day.
So they're the 2 at Swan Hill on Sunday. Monday we'll be back here at Ararat for trials. Long Espresso, Tayu and Stylish Lily, 3 of them will be trialling for us. And then on Tuesday we're off to Donald, which I see is rated a heavy 8, Brian. It'd have to be the first time Donald's rated a heavy 8. But we've got a couple of runners there. We'll start with Testarossa.
Well, it gets a short sprint race, so hopefully be a few horses in front that can make the pace. And Maddie's probably going to put, I think, a tongue tie on to try and settle the horse. And if it can get in behind him without having to be left alone in front, it's going to be a lot better chance than what it was last time.
I spoke to Maddie early today, and this is what he had to say about Testarossa. What do you make of her last run and where she's at the moment?
Yeah, look, we've had a disappointing prep with her. Her last run at Winnable, she just over-raced, got a head up, and just was out of control pretty much for Dean. Especially, we were looking to ride her back that day, and then for that to happen, it just sort of threw all our plans out. And it's disappointing with her because she shows us a lot at home, and her trials and that, she's trialled up terrific. But we've just got to get her race day manners sorted out, and that's why we've gone to Donald next Tuesday to get her back in distance, hopefully where they just run her off her feet early, and hopefully just get her where she's settling, and then I'm sure she'll be finishing off strong if she settles and does things right.
Some of these horses turn up in the yard and they just press button horses. They do everything right, and then you get some fillies like this that you really got to teach them how to relax and finish off.
Yeah, she's obviously I've told you that she's probably one of our better horses in the stable, but she's just not doing things right on race day, and it's probably surprising because she's a very easy horse to train at home. She galloped on this morning, and Tennille, who does a lot of my gallops at home, worked her, and her work was really good, and Tennille was wrapped with how she went, and she just does it all with her head on her chest. And then you get race day, she just, for some reason the other day, just wanted to come out of the gates. There wasn't much speed in the race, and nothing would sort of cross her, and Dean just got left in front, and she pretty much just got charging. But yeah, it's frustrating when you're training for them to do these sort of things when they don't show you that at home. I suppose is the frustrating part.
Should be hard to beat at Donald.
Well, I've tipped her probably every start she's had this time in. So look, she will be hard to beat if she settles, but you'll probably know the fate in the first 400. If she's got the head up and over racing, we're in strife. But if she's out the back and switched off, you can be looking for her to finish off really strong and look, certainly win if things go right. Yeah.
I'm not jumping off now. We then go on to Magnus Bell, who's running there back on the turf. That's where are we again? Donald?
At Donald, on a heavy.
She doesn't handle the heavy, so I better dry out. Hope that sun stays out. So, look, her run was great. She ran third at Geelong on the synthetic, and they ran 33.6 for the last 600, and I thought her run was quite good. It was a 64. She's back to a 58 fillies and mares, so down in class, and I think it's just a matter of if the track's right, she'll win.
Yeah, down in class and back against her own kind, and if she really hasn't had a race run to suit her this time, and if she can get one to suit, she's going to be probably going close to winning.
And then the other runner will be Edge of Storm. Once again, a horse that doesn't handle the heavy. One last start and seems to be in good form.
Also stepping up to 2,000 as well. And it's really going to have a lot to do with how the track pans out on the day. But if this wind stays like this, it might dry out a little bit. But if it's a heavy track, it just probably won't be running.
Look, we've been waiting for 2 years to get him out to 2,000. We've never been able to get him there before he's sort of trained off. So we think he's a 2,000 metre horse. So hopefully he can go on with the job from last start. Our other international runner will be Sunday night in Singapore. Lucky Lion will be going around on Sunday night, Brian. He put in an amazing run last start where he had no luck, and to run home like that, you'd have to think he'd be very hard to beat this week.
Yeah, he hit the line really hard after being buffeted a couple of times, and the jockey done a great job to get him through the field. And he's another one who's a little bit like Magnus Bell, probably hasn't had things that go all his way, but he keeps putting in 100%, and it's only a matter of time before he gets his turn.
So that's where we're up to with the runners coming up. I guess Sir Dillon will be running at Hawkesbury next Thursday, but the noms and the fields aren't out yet, so we can't have a look at those. But we know from Chris Waller that he will be running at Hawkesbury on Thursday. Who's your best for the ones coming up? Who's the tip?
Out of all those, I'd probably go Glockenspiel on what it showed at the Barron Beach Trials. It's drawn well and good jockey, and it's going to be very hard to beat.
There's no hope of it getting beat, Brian.
There's always a hope it can get beat.
I'll be on it.
We'll put plenty on it because it should win. Just while you're there, Darren, too.
You got anything else, have you, Ryan?
I have. There's a great meeting tomorrow at Caulfield. It's been called the Race of the Millennium, with the Race of the Atlantic Jewels in with the Underwood Stakes, and free entry to all the patrons and free kids entertainment for everybody as well. So get down, get back on track.
Are you going to Caulfield?
I am going to Caulfield, Darren, yep.
Passons to Loom, can it win?
It can win, and so can a few others as well. So
best bet for Caulfield tomorrow?
I'll probably have to go Atlantic Jewel. The Monks haven't done much form.
Well, that's a great bet at about $1.10. Any other news around the traps? Typic competition kicking off soon?
It kicks off on October 5th, and we've got about, I think, 50 or 60 ended so far, but don't forget, you must have a Betfair account to claim the first prize, which is a trip to the Gold Coast, and you've still got a couple of weeks to enter, so but just make sure you've entered before October 5th, and there's a big chance we could have a huge prize on Caulfield Cup Day as well. It could be a double prize for the day.
Sounds exciting. Werribee, Dandino arrives on Grand Final Day at the Werribee Quarantine Complex, and then on the October 12th we're looking to have a breakfast down there like last year.
Yeah, it should be a fantastic day at the Quarantine Centre, but there's a lot of people asking who's going to be picking up Dandino and who's going to be going to footy with Hawks and Cats playing tonight. So it'll be Darren or it'll be Liz?
My tip will be Liz will be watching the Grand Final and I'll be at Werribee.
So we should get on the Hawks or the Cats then?
Doesn't matter who plays, I'll be at Werribee.
Good to hear, good to hear.
To hear? Haven't got it to hear. That's Brian Johnson and Darren Dance this week from Ararat. In fine form as usual. Have a great week. Cheers.